Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Dingus, and I am ranking the MCU movies. I'm going by phase here, so this is part 2, where we're going to do the phase 2 movies. Pretty self-explanatory, and that's how it's going to continue to work. I did notice, after I did the first part, that I'm missing the one-shots. The one-shots are like these kind of short films, basically. They're like 2 to 10 minutes on average. There's only a handful of them, and they only go up to, like, Civil War. They're just kind of ways to, like, bridge the gap between movies. They add a little bit of, like, content and smoothing over of the edges of some of, like, the, plot holes and shit. They're actually pretty cool, and I'm definitely going to add those here because I did watch all of them, so I want to rank them. So before we get into Phase 2 proper, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to do the one-shots in release order, and then we can move forward. So it's kind of tough because I watched everything in chronological order, so they slotted right in. I don't know when a lot of these actually came out, but that's just how I'm going to rank them. So first we have Agent Carter, which came right after Captain America. I'm just going to use this. I think this might actually be for the show, but I don't know. Who gives a shit? We'll just use that as the one-shot image. Agent Carter was not great, I don't think. I think I did not like it. I'm going to put this in mid as fuck. I think Agent Carter, and there's no really footage of this, so I'll just, replay some of this shit, but, I don't know. Agent Carter was a very short little romp, and you get to see her do some cool, girl boss shit. But it was completely unremarkable and unimportant. You kind of just see how she gets promoted to, like, the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Howard Stark. So it's cool backstory and it's cool lore. But, like, is it necessary viewing? Abso-fucking-lutely not. 2 out of 5, pretty mid. Then we had One Shot. A funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer. That would be this right here. Let's see. What did I think of this? This is the one where Agent Coulson, goes to, like, he stops at, like, a rest stop on the way to Thor's hammer, and he stops, like, a bank robbery, and you see that he's actually pretty competent and badass. He has, like, a little fight sequence with some fucking donuts. It's funny. It's charming. It adds some character to him. I think this belongs right here in 3 where I put it. And I think technically I watched that before this, so I'll just kind of slide it there for clarity's sake. But, yeah, I thought Thor's hammer was good. And just like that, I think we're done. Let me check real quick. Oh, one more. It's called The Consultant. This one was really good. I liked this one a lot. It's so short. It's like 2 minutes, but they do this cool thing where, oh, for the love of Christ. The hardest part of this tier list is going to be finding half the fucking things. The Consultant. There he is. Boom. Okay, The Consultant, by the way, is Tony Stark, obviously. If you've seen Avengers and the shit that led up to it, Nick Fury's like, you're not actually in the Avengers, you're too unstable, but you'll be like our guy, you'll be our consultant or whatever. Obviously, that doesn't end up continuing to be true, but, this is obviously referring to him, and I think this is a 4 out of 5. I really liked it. Again, it's very short, and basically what it does is it kind of retcons, at the end of Hulk, when Iron Man walks into the bar and talks to the general, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you how to run the fucking show or whatever. You find this scene between Coulson and the Hydra agent who ends up, turning face in the Bucky movie, but they talk, and they're like, we need to send someone that's so abrasive and cocky that it would piss the fuck off out of the general. And you find out that he kicked Tony Stark out and completely rejected his offer or whatever because they wanted to get Abomination. And so they sent the Consultant to get Abomination because they didn't actually want the Abomination. He was too much of a liability. And that was a great plan because Tony Stark's such a jackass that he completely fucked it up, and the general turned it down. And that's why they got the Hulk in the Avengers. It was a cool little backstory thing. Again, super short, but, like, that adds a lot of charm to the universe. I think that's what these one-shots are great at doing when they're good, and that was a great example. I think this is actually perhaps a 5 out of 5, dare I say. I'm going to stick with 4 because I don't think it's, like, absolutely a masterpiece. It's just a cool little piece of backstory. Anyway, so with those out of the way, now we can properly move the fuck on to Phase 2. Yeah, we can. So phase 2 starts with one of these one-shots that I was talking about here. And this first one-shot happens right after the Avengers. And it's called Item 47. And it's very bad. It's absolute dog shit, if you ask me. It is not very good. I won't spend a lot of time talking about it. Basically, this couple, that's a pretty annoying couple, they find a weapon, and they use it to go on a bunch of, like, bank robberies. They find one of the weapons that Chitauri were using, and they go around and they use it to rob a bunch of banks. The Coulson's friend or whatever, his colleague there, the Hydra agent, goes and has to find it from them. And he takes the item, and you think he's going to kill him, but then he actually just takes him back to work at S.H.I.E.L.D. Stupid. Dumb. Not important. I don't think they ever fucking come back. In fact, I know they don't. At least not in the Infinity Saga. Dumb. 1 out of 5 dog shit. Okay, now, on to the next movie. Finally. Fuck, without any further ado. 6 minutes of having to get that shit out of the way, but we are ready. In fact, you know what? No, I'm going to cut that there, and we'll just call this, like, part... I don't know, like, I'll call this, like, part 1 cleanup or part 1 wrap-up or something. That way it's not, you know, I want phase 2 to be its own thing and get its own undivided attention. So we'll call this here. This will be a short little part. It's just to flesh out the end of phase 1. I wanted to make sure I included all of these because I watched them all. They're all an important part of the canon. So, yeah, I'll be right back. Well, I don't know, for you... click on the next video or whatever. But yeah, that's the end of this little bridging thing. And then next part, we're going to start off phase 2. And oh boy, it's going to be a doozy because I think we kicked that shit off with Thor the Dark World, I believe. Or Iron Man 3, I forget. But either way, we're going to go over all of them. Stay tuned.